Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Vets and CEOs channel. I'm here with a very special guest. This is Ed, and I'm super excited. We're finally meeting in person. We actually met over a year ago. I took one of his mentorships, his high-level mentorship programs on how to leverage credit. And today we're going to be talking about credit and how it has given him this life of freedom to travel the world. He's in here in Prague. He's from Florida, and he's going to talk about how he gets businesses funded and how he helped me fund my business. He helped me fund my Amazon business and my real estate wholesaling business. So I'm so excited, so grateful. Thank you so much, Ed. And if you could share real quick, how did you get started in this journey from being a previously oil mining specialist to now running a 7-figure business, leveraging credit and funding businesses? How did you get started with that?
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for having me, man. Super excited to be here. So I started in the credit space probably 4 years ago. And like many of us, like we usually, you're scrolling through Instagram and you wonder how people travel the world and live these lavish lifestyles. Mm-hmm. Well, that was me 4 years ago. And I literally utilized that as inspiration. And I'm like, what is it that these people know that I don't know? Obviously, there was a gap, right? So at the time I was working in oil and gas. I was fortunate enough to actually get visa to go to North Dakota and work, and then because of that I ended up getting my social security number, and then I did 84 days straight from December all the way to February in North Dakota. That was the last time I ever worked.
Wow.
Right? And during that time I was just learning, and then I was able to get my social security number. And then I started, I followed a few people in the credit space, but I just, I had learned a little bit from them, and then I started applying for credit cards, and then I kept getting declined. And I'm like,
what's going on?
Why am I getting declined? And I just didn't know the process. I didn't know how to do it, right? So it's like I keep hitting myself against the wall. I'm like, okay, well, I want to learn more. And I ended up taking a mentorship that was all with credit repair and the credit space. And that was probably that was the first mentorship that started kind of catapulting everything.
Okay.
And then I continued paying people to just really learn the space and learn the financial system a lot better. And that's how fast forward now, I have the mentorship. And then I also, something that I do, there's a lot of people that are real estate investors. They don't want to learn exactly how to the whole process of how to do it and all the stuff. So it's hey, just do it for me. So we just do it for them. And then that's kind of the two business models that I have. But that's how I really got started. And initially I just wanted to travel the world for free. Yeah. Literally that's what drove me into getting into the space. I'm like, how do all these people fly first class and stay on these hotels and do all this stuff? It's just how do they do it, right? So again, everything is based in the credit space and understanding the credit system and understanding the points of the credit cards. And it comes hand in hand, the whole
it's all tied together.
Correct. Being able to travel on points and the whole credit system. But the one thing that I always say is that the travel is the cherry on top. The main thing that I always kind of push, not push, but I say is that it's main thing that people gotta focus on is just building their businesses, because you're not gonna go to Maldives and pay it on point and then cheap out on $500 meals or $1,000 meals because you can't afford the goddamn meal, right? So building that business and building something that is sustainable and is growing is gonna be able to just help you travel a lot better and more luxuriously.
Definitely. No, I definitely resonate with that too, Ed. I've been overseas 12 years, and for me, I was trying to see how are these people doing what you were just talking about. How are they traveling to all these spots and having their business run virtually and then getting their business funded? And you brought up a really good point I really want to hit on is real estate investing and how you're able to help them and with the done-for-you service. Can you go a little bit into the overview of credit and how, I guess, credit is so amazing in the States versus Europe? Because over here in Europe, I talk to my buddies that are entrepreneurs here. They don't have a credit system here, and for them, when they're funding their business, they got to use their own cash. Even when, my girlfriend, and she's buying stuff in the stores, she has to use her own cash in her account. I'm like, why? Why not use your credit card? If you have the money already, get points. You make money too, and then pay it off if you have the cash. So what would you say is the biggest difference that you've noticed with the credit systems in the U.S. and Europe, and how has it been really amazing to leverage that?
So I actually have credit in 3 different countries, in Canada, in Colombia, and in the States. right? So, and I've analyzed a lot of the credit system, because what I've come to learn is like a lot of countries, even here in Europe, still use Equifax or TransUnion. So they still have similar like scoring model, right?
All right.
But the leverage, like you can't out here, you have to, in order to get a credit card, you have to get 3 months bank statements to even just get a credit card,
Yep.
right? So main thing is with real estate investors, just with everything, like you think that some of the biggest people, Grant Cardone, right? And what I always tell people is like, you want to learn how to turn the bank into your business partner, because it is going to be the best business partner that you're going to have. But like people like Grant Cardone or like people that are just getting started, it's just learning how to be able to leverage the money from the bank to be able to grow and scale your business, right? So when I was talking about like real estate investors, I just did a speech, and for the real estate investors, that's mainly for people that are doing flipping, for people that can get in and can get out of the deal within 12 to 20 months. The reason being is because a lot of the credit cards that we do on the business side, they're 0%. So a lot of them are for 12 months. So what you want to do for example, for a multifamily, is not going to work all that much, because multifamily, you're exiting maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 years down the road.
Yeah.
Right? So you need the capital. But with flipping, you can get in, you can leverage the money. You know, like if you're remodeling, if you're building, whatever the case might be, you can get in and you can get out and be able to pay your money back. So it's mainly just by having good credit. Like that's all people need. Like it's just, if you have good credit, you can get $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. I got people that have gone. I got a 23-year-old that went from having $200,000 in credit to now having $1.3 million in credit.
Wow.
So it's just,
this is business credit or personal credit?
business. Like,
okay.
I think the total amount is all together.
Gotcha.
Right? But still, like having $1.3 million to be able to leverage for the e-commerce business, be the real estate, whatever it might be. Different people have different businesses, obviously. Mm-hmm. So it's just a matter of knowing, one, how to get it, and two, being able to leverage to be able to scale your company or your business.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, that's amazing. And you said that you work with a lot of real estate investors. So are they able to buy a property with a credit card, or like how does that work exactly?
No, so you can get the credit card, and then there's different ways where you can actually turn the credit card into cash. Because if you're gonna go buy a piece of property, say it's, I don't know, $50,000, $100,000, whatever, let's say it's $100,000. You put $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 down, whatever it might be. You can liquidate that credit card. You can turn that credit card into cash. So a lot of people like, well, yeah, you still got to pay it back. But if you're getting the money and at 0% for 12 months, you can use that money for 12 months. So the main thing is just being able to liquidate that credit card. So there's different methods there's like, some people don't know about manufacturer spending, which manufacturer spending is just pretty much being able to go pay for something and liquidate the credit card. Mm-hmm. It just comes down to going and buying stuff and returning them. But then when you return them, they're giving you the money back in your debit card.
I see.
So, but it depends. It depends, because it is cheaper to liquidate it, but a lot of time it doesn't work every single time.
Okay.
So usually what I do, if you guys have like entrepreneur friends or something like that, same way that you would invoice, like if I send you an invoice,
coaching program or something,
whatever, and then you just pretty much return the money.
I see. Okay.
Right. So like if you had $100,000 and you needed to liquidate that credit card, it's like, okay, I'm gonna send you an invoice. You're not sending a $100,000 invoice. You're gonna kind of split it up. Because you know you're gonna get shut down. But if I'm just doing you the favor, right? Hey, I'm just going to invoice you, and then I'm just gonna give you the money. Obviously, you want to do this with people that are trustworthy and that you know, because, wow, for obvious reasons. Yeah.
Wow. So it's really a creative way to finance anything, essentially.
Exactly.
Wow. From all the clients that you've been helping, what have you found like the most lucrative industry that's leveraging credit with your service?
So I personally like actually funding people that do real estate. Like a lot of people, the main thing that I say, like, you gotta have a reason for going for funding. Mm-hmm. Right? So say, hey, you're trying to scale your business, you're going to run some Facebook ads, you want to start putting $100,000, $200,000 in Facebook ads, perfect, go on and leverage that way. Real estate, I like it because it is 0%. And again, it just, people know what they're going to do for the money, with the money.
Yeah.
Right. So they have a deal, or they're looking for deals, but whether you're looking for deals in real estate, or whether you're hiring, or you're doing marketing, or you're building processes and systems in your own business, these are things like you need capital. Like you need capital to be able to move. Right. So it's the main thing is just being able to get that again, initial money, especially for people that are just getting started, getting that extra a couple $100,000 that is going to help them kind of move forward with their businesses.
I see. Okay, so a lot of the people you're helping that are in real estate, they're more so cash buyers / investors, leveraging the credit to buy the property. Okay.
Even on a rental, like on a renovation, right? Like you can go on, you can utilize that same credit card to be able to buy material, to be able to buy all the stuff. You just, I don't know, like a lot of, if you go to Home Depot, right? You can use that money to also leverage it to be able to kind of like do your renovations or do your flips or anything like that. So
okay, that's amazing. I can actually share my testament too. Ed's helped me out with my Amazon business, and then also right now our real estate operations for wholesaling, and everything through our business is funded through the credit cards that he got from me. Over a year ago, I went through the course and I tried to apply everything, and I was trying to apply for the Chase cards, and I still kept getting denied. And I don't know how you did it, but I was approved for my Chase credit cards. We got funded a really good amount, and now I'm leveraging it for our business to pay the team, our VAs. We've bought so many lists with those credit cards, and then just different systems and processes that we need to run the business. And then, when you finally make those deals happen, it's like it's worth the investment instead of getting a loan from the bank. At a 6% rate right now, possibly.
And even now, like even if you go get it, like I've been getting a lot of lines of credit lately. And for lines of credit, you're paying 12, 15, 16 to 12 to like 17% is kind of like the range. So when you look at it, at the cost of borrowing that money, right? If you're getting $100,000, you're paying say $15,000 just to borrow that money. Instead, you can get the business credit cards at 0% that you have for a year. And then this is what I tell people all the time too, is like worst case scenario, you can always transfer that debt into another 0% credit card, because it's the introductory promotion that they give you, right? So say you got $100,000, well, then in a year from now you could go apply for other credit cards that are still 0%, and you can transfer the debt. Obviously, that's not a cycle that we want to get into.
Yeah,
you want to get in and you want to get out, but it's just strategies that anyone can use. Again, whether your real estate, maybe the deal didn't go right, it's Murphy's Law. Sometimes things happen. So you can always transfer it over and just continue using the business credit and leveraging the business credit.
Because you essentially have a year to get your shit together, pretty much, and get your business going and really become profitable. If you can't get it done in a year and you're like $100,000 in debt, there's systems in place where you can transfer it to another credit card. That's really cool. That's a big credit hack right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's just a matter of, again, like having the purpose of like what are you gonna do with the money, right? It's just like, for me personally, I don't like loans because a lot of people, they will use them, but if you're gonna close a deal, okay, perfect. Like, hey, you're gonna close a real estate deal, you can use the money, bam. But with a loan, you're having to pay right away. Right, like, so as soon as you take it, you're like, hey, you better start utilizing that money. You don't want it sitting in there because you're paying to borrow that money, right? With the credit cards, it's just a lot easier, because if you're not using it, you're not paying anything on it.
Yeah,
right.
That's true compared to the loan. That's awesome.
So yeah.
Wow. What would you say for you personally is your biggest benefit with credit that you've used it for?
Man, I use credit for everything. But for me, my business wouldn't be nearly to what it is now if I wouldn't have been able to leverage credit, right? Being able to travel, like we take, like even the trip to Santorini. If I would have paid for that trip, it would have cost us just on hotels and flights would have been $65,000.
Wow.
And I pretty much ended up paying $4,000. It's like
$4,000.
Yeah,
Holy cow! How did you do that? What's the secret with that?
So it's just the points, right? Like you think about, like we flew first class, we flew Lufthansa first class and Lufthansa business class. Those tickets they're like $9,000-$10,000. The hotels themselves, like you're saving a ton of money. We stayed in places that are $2,000 a night, right? We're also paying them with points, right? So just things like that that you're able to leverage to be able to just kind of have a better vacation or have a better
experience.
Right?
Yeah.
So just in general, like I think like the traveling and being able to scale my business, just utilizing the American credit, right? And again, like I was saying, like I've analyzed a lot of the other credits around the world or like credit systems, and it just there is no better place in the world that will give you the leverage to be able to grow and scale your business. That's why like I truly do believe the American dream is real, but you gotta make it happen. Like a lot of people, oh well, okay, you go to the States and now you have a job, but the way that I explain to people is like a lot of people are building a house with a hammer and a nail when they have power tools and a crane sitting in front of them, but if they're too blind to be able to see what's in front of them, right? So it's our job as adults at any point is like to really find the resources that we have to be able to utilize those resources and be able to live, whether it's your business, your lifestyle, a family, whatever you're trying to build. It's there for absolutely everyone to use. And now we're actually starting to help a lot of like people from overseas get into the American credit system so that they can start leveraging. Because for example, in Colombia, I'm Colombian, so if you take $100,000, that's kind of, well, it'd be like having 400, like kind of equivalent to having $400,000 in Colombia.
Yeah, leveraging in a different country.
Correct.
Even
right?
me in Prague, like you making my U.S. income work for me here in Prague.
So the money goes a hell of a lot longer, right? So if you take $100,000 and you go buy in Colombia an apartment and an Airbnb and you just put it in your, like the interest rates down there, even for a mortgage, are like 12, 13%, right? So just being able to leverage the U.S. system to utilize that same money somewhere else is still like a thing that anybody can do.
It's like what the Tate brothers are doing too. They're living in Romania, and same thing.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are starting to live that lifestyle. A lot of my buddies here are doing the same thing, where they are having their business operating in different countries, but they're in a different area, and then they're really getting the leverage to use that money in that country. So I think that's the biggest life hack and travel hack too.
Yeah, and it's also the market in the States. Part of the reason why businesses in general do so well in the States is like you just look at the population. Like we're talking about 350 million people, right, in one country. So it's and just the society in general. It's consumerism, right? People are just like always consuming. So I believe there's like the facility to grow and scale a company in the States. I think is easier than in other places.
Yeah.
Right. Again, it's a perspective, but I do truly believe that it's easier to get into the States, even people that, again, like going back to your point, like utilizing the system and living somewhere else.
Yeah.
But it's the economic infrastructure of the United States.
It's like you're bringing your piece of America to Prague to spend it here.
Correct.
So it's a nice little hack too.
Correct.
So when you first got started getting into credit, like when did you really see your big break with the information you started using with credit?
So the first time, like similar to a lot of people, and you were saying you were applying and getting declined. That I also applied a lot of times and got declined.
Yeah.
I would be applying from Mexico, and then like I didn't realize you gotta use VPNs and gotta do all this stuff because you're applying for credit outside of the country, so it's definitely not ideal. But I went through I tried it a few times. It didn't have the success that I wanted, and then I optimized my credit, absolutely everything, and I started utilizing H corporations, which are they're seasoned corporations. They're corporations that are 5, 10, 15, 20 years old. Okay. Right? So I went in and I applied with 3 different companies, and I ended up getting $693,000. Right?
Wow.
So that was a combination of all the credit I ended up getting. So after I got that, I'm like, okay, like I got something here, and I have a blueprint of how I was able to do it. So that's when I started doing it for other people and started just helping other people be able to get the same amount of money, right? Not $700,000, because get the setup for $700,000, it takes some work and setup, right? But anybody can do it, right? It's just a matter of learning the steps and the process,
and
right?
The steps,
so that's, I think, when I knew I had like a blueprint to be able to do this and repeatedly do it. So
scalable.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's when I think I got my breakthrough in credit and really like achieving what I wanted to do.
That's how you found your passion too,
Yeah.
essentially. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And then who taught you like how to do all this, like leveraging credit and I mean, was it a YouTube Academy back
No,
then? Or?
man, like I've spent so much money on mentors and mentorships and like I paid a lot of people when it comes to credit, and so I would just always look to get the edge, right? A lot of times I would join programs. I'm like, hey, I will probably already know 85% of this,
Yeah.
right? But I'm like, what's that extra 15% that I can learn, that I can apply, right? So I think just in business and in life, you're always looking for that extra edge. You're always looking for extra information or systems that you can implement or things that you can put into your business to be able to grow and scale, right? So I just spend a lot of money with, still to this day, I spend a lot of money like on consultants, on optimizing my systems, on optimizing the business in general, because that's the only way that you can scale.
Yeah.
Right. So it just you can't keep doing the same thing over and over again if you're not
It's
growing.
insanity.
Correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think it's. I just learned from paying other people.
Okay.
Right. And I come from a very highly educated family, and I just learned a different way. Right. I never
Take
finished
risks
university
still, yeah.
and that's really how I've learned. And the way that I look at it is like if there's someone that already has what you want to achieve, whether it's in business and lifestyle, like why not pay them that
Fast
they've
track.
actually done it, right? So I literally learned from paying people and paying mentors and paying people that were living the lifestyle and doing the things that I wanted to do.
So finding a mentor.
Correct.
Gotcha. Who would you say your biggest mentor is?
I listen to a lot of like right now, and I still Dan Pena. He's not for everybody. Swears a lot. He's very aggressive, but I've learned so much from that man in a sense of just he talks a lot about mergers and acquisitions, but that's someone that I listen to like religiously. So now I think it's Dan Pena is probably by far, and if you guys don't know Alex Ramosi too, I listen to all his stuff.
I love his book, 100 Million Offers.
Yeah, he just launched his 100 million offers. So, and then 100 million leads is the
That
one
one's
that he
a
did.
good
Yeah.
one, yeah.
So I listen to a lot of his stuff too. Again, someone that has been able to, I think it's like 7 years, go into $200 million a year is like obviously he knows something that all of us would want to be there and want to get to 100 million, 200 million a year, right? So, I think those are the two people that I do listen to a lot, especially when it comes to business.
Gotcha. No, and you taught me as well. Like when I signed up for your coaching program, for me, I was really hesitant because it was quite a lot, and I used my credit card to leverage it, and it was a good return on my investment, honestly. And from that, I was like not so scared anymore to invest even more. And that opened the gates for me to, okay, I learned all this. I can apply it to other businesses, and then what else can I learn? But it's all about learning and executing, because there was a time where I would just want to learn everything, and then I would be slow to take action with analysis paralysis. But going back to your mentor, Dan Pena, one of the quotes that he says that really I love to internalize is, show me your friends, I'll show you your future.
Yeah.
Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. I tell my friends that all the time because
stop hanging out with fucking bums.
yeah, exactly. Like you look at the people you surround yourself. If I look at myself a year ago to 5 years ago to 10 years ago, the people I was constantly surrounding myself with, it really, you become that fifth person.
Yeah.
You know, you become the average of that group of the people you're surrounding yourself with. And as time goes on, I get the older I get, I'm seeing the difference in friends I'm surrounding myself with and how much it's changing me.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, like even to be here with you today. A year ago, we were just talking on Zoom, and I'm like, wow, holy shit, I didn't think we were gonna meet in person. Like, this is so cool, it's surreal.
I think a lot of people in the social media world that we live in, they really underestimate what social media can do for people.
Oh yeah.
Like I built, actually some of my best friends, I've met them through literally sending them a DM. I've had business partners. I built 7-digit figure businesses before ever meeting someone in person.
That's amazing.
Like, and it's just, even Luis, like we met through
Yeah.
Luis, right? He was one of my students, and then we ended up doing a business, and I hadn't even met him personally, right? So
Wow.
a lot of people, again, they underestimate the power of what they have in their hands, literally, right? It's just like, hey, someone's like one message away, one connection, and you can utilize social media to actually like send messages and build relationships and hey, let's get on a Zoom,
Yeah.
right? Some people are going to be open to it, other people might not be so open, but that's literally, even when I joined the mentorships, like different mentorships, I would make an effort to connect with people. Like not just even on the calls, I would like reach out to them and jump on a Zoom call with them and be like, how can I provide value to them?
Yep.
Right? So you start building these connections, and it just, when you're in a group, whether it's, I don't know, $1,000, $5,000, 20 grand or 50 grand, and people pay X amount of money to be part of that group, it's just, you know, that it's people that are committed to growing, to scaling
That's
their
the
business,
biggest
to
thing.
bettering their lives,
Yep.
right? So you have something in common, so you know the quality of the people that are in that group is higher than me. It's no different than going to university, right?
Yep.
Like I tell my son, I'm like, if you're gonna go to university, go to the best university that you can get into, and then go build relationships.
Yep.
Right? Because that's really like, and I'm sure like most people are like, your network is your net worth, right? So it's just, who do you have like in your network and in your resources to be able to grow, to scale, to help other people, right? So
That's the biggest thing that I've learned in life too. The more that you give without expecting anything in return, the more life, God, the universe rewards you. And you know, going back to what you were saying with networking and social media, I think all these courses that we've invested in, it's really for the network. Yeah, you learn 15% more, a little bit more, but the network and the relationships too. Like Luis, I met him at a networking event that I joined initially when I was flipping homes,
Okay.
Future Flipper with Ryan Panetta. And then I know Luis was doing more of the Amazon scene in credit, and I started asking him, hey, I kept seeing him post all these Amazon cards. I'm like, how are you getting all these credit cards?
yeah.
And then he connected me with you. This was like a year ago, and then finally I pulled the trigger and reached out to you, and the course changed my life, and especially with the leverage of credit, I wouldn't even be able to be here today in Prague with my business if it wasn't for you guys helping
That's awesome.
leverage my business. And then even like my rent, I've found a way to leverage using my credit card to pay rent and get points and stuff too at the same time.
Yeah.
It's really amazing what you can do with credit. So thank you, Ed. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. And there's the one credit card I actually built. As you guys look it up, it's a Wells Fargo credit card. They don't even charge to actually pay your rent. Because a lot of times,
Really?
like, I pay my rent with credit card too, but then I'm paying that, I think it's 3%. So for me, it's worth it because I'm getting, like, that's what, $60,000 a year that I'm paying, right?
Why not
Through
get
a credit
points?
card. Yeah, like, but that's 60,000 points. That's compared to like to a ticket, you know? I could get maybe not a first class, but I can get a business ticket
Something
on
out
that.
of it. Instead of just making a wire from your bank account every month. And that's the way I see things. I was actually teaching my girlfriend because she doesn't know anything about credit. I was explaining to her because she was like, what's this Amex Platinum? What's this Amex Gold? What's this card? What's this check? And I was explaining all the different benefits and how each of those cards are meant for a specific purpose and stuff too. But before we close things out, Ed, what are some of your favorite credit cards and why?
So my favorite personal credit, like my all-time favorite is the Amex Gold and my everyday Amex Gold and the Chase Sapphire Reserve.
Okay,
Right?
why?
Those are the Amex Gold. It gives you a lot of points. It gives you 4 points on dining, on gas. Even if you're running Facebook ads on the business side too, you get 4x the amount of points. Just for like an everyday spend, I that's why I like it. And Amex points are really good to like transfer. They have a lot of travel partners. And the Chase Sapphire Reserve, same thing. Like it's just my daily credit card that I use. Right, the Chase Sapphire Reserve also gives you 1.5 points when you redeem it. So all the credit cards that I have with Chase, I transfer the points to Chase Sapphire Reserve, and then I book whatever I want to book because the points are worth more.
So
right?
that's how you do that with the travel.
Yes.
Okay.
So and then Chase, it just has a lot of benefits. For example, like we just rented a car the other day, and I don't know, I think it was like a chip on the window. Is like the credit card is gonna pay for it, right? So again, just those are my two favorite cars. My day to day. I just ended up getting the American Airlines, the City credit card. I'm getting I get credit cards because of the lounges. So
That's the biggest thing I like too.
So this one I fly a lot of American Airlines. So with this one, I can actually go into the Admirals Club because a lot of times there will be lounges at the airports, but they'll be in a different terminal or something like that.
I've noticed that's such a pain in the ass.
Or like the lounges are not the best. So it's there's a reason for getting certain credit cards. And the way that I look at it is a lot of people are like, well, it's $595. Well, yeah, but I ask myself, and people are gonna ask themselves, so like, do you eat $595 worth on a lounge, on the airport? Like, and all these credit cards that are expensive, quote unquote, on the fee, they have benefits, right? Like the Amex Platinum has like 200 on
you get your money's worth, yeah.
So my personal favorite credit cards are the Amex Gold and the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Definitely.
Gotcha. You know, I've realized one issue out here in Europe is Amex isn't taken everywhere. Do you know why that is? I've been trying to figure out why they don't take Amex.
So the reason why is because American Express is more expensive for the business.
Oh,
so the same way that we pay like the fee, the merchant fee. So like if you pay, for example, Stripe charges 2.9. I send you an invoice, you pay $1,000, I'm going to charge 2.9%, right? With Amex actually charges a little bit more money, right?
Really?
So they charge more money. So a lot of businesses don't like using them because it's just more expensive.
I
Right?
see,
So
because it's a more premium card too.
But at the same time, if you, as a user, that's why you get so many perks with American Express too. So like in the States, I mean, like the two banks you never want to burn your relationship with is American Express and Chase. Right? Those are the two banks that you never want to like, hey, if you're in a bad situation and you get and you know, things go south or something, like go get the money from a little bank and then just don't ruin your relationship with those two banks.
Okay.
So yeah, those are by far my favorite credit cards.
Gotcha. Okay, and to close things out with the last question too, man. What would you say is your biggest hack with credit, leveraging credit? I know you talked a little bit about using it for the lounges, the rentals, the hotels, but if someone was really like to use a credit card to get the biggest hack out of travel, like if we're a digital nomad, we want to travel all the time, what would you say is the biggest hack that you've found? Because you've shared a little bit about the passes for flying, and that for me, that was amazing. I was like, holy crap, that's crazy. But what would you say is like your biggest hack that you utilize credit for travel?
So I want to say hack is just the perks of like applying for a lot of credit cards. Right? Because even if you apply for a lot of credit cards, like this credit card that I just got approved is 100,000 points, right? So, and just having good personal credit, whether you're using it for the business or whether you're using personally. Like this
is there a difference between personal and business credit too?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, because it's like your personal is the foundation of everything, right? So for everyone, whether you want to travel or like whatever you want to do, is like one, make sure that you have like really good personal credit, because your personal credit, I've worked with people that are making $65 million in 1 year. The bank still wants all their finances.
Really?
Right?
Wow.
So even because they're going after $2, $3, $4 million.
Okay.
Right. So it's just they're bigger amounts.
Vettings.
But correct. But like your personal is what I explained to everyone. Your personal credit, especially, it's the foundation of absolutely everything that you're gonna do. Whether it's, and it just, people, you need it for life.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like whether you're getting an apartment in the States, you even need it for, like just to get an apartment, they check your credit. Right? So I wouldn't say it's a hack, it's just like make sure that you have at least 10 accounts on your credit. A lot of people, they'll be in like 30s, 40s, and they have 2, 3 accounts. That's what the bank looks at, is like, it's not a thick file. Right? You want to have a diverse file. You want to have a lot of products, whether it's auto loans, say credit cards, mortgages, just diversity. But to go specifically to answer your question, I think you just apply it to a lot of credit cards because you get a lot of points, right? And then utilizing the credit cards at the right places. For example, if you're going to, I send a lot of Marriotts, right? So I pay with a Marriott credit card, right? If I go to a Hilton, I'll pay with a Hilton credit card. Like if I'm paying anything with American Express, with American Airlines, I'll use an American Airlines because you're getting more points. So also understanding, and it can become a lot to put it that way, but if you understand what are the credit cards that are giving you the best perks on different purchases, that's what's gonna help you just be able to get more credit. For example, with the dining, like we all eat out, right? So it's like utilizing the American Express Gold because it gives you 4 extra points.
I see. Okay.
Right?
Wow,
So
that's
yeah.
amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Ed.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I have learned so much on this podcast and our mentorship. And if people want to learn more about credit, maybe even get their business funded in the Done For You method, where can they go to get that done?
Main thing, I'm gonna put it, but you can reach out to me on Instagram. I am Ed Soto, and you're like all the links and everything are gonna be there. If anyone's looking to get pretty much $100,000, $200,000 at 0% to be able to grow and scale their business, I'd be more than happy to have a conversation and see where they're at. Again, personal credit is going to be the basis of being able to get people a lot of money.
Okay,
so
sweet.
So yeah.
Thank you so much, Ed. We definitely got to chat more after. I would like to get more credit cards under my own personal accounts.
Absolutely, man.
See what else I can add to my collection. But thank you so much, Ed, for coming out here to Prague for one.
Appreciate
and
it.
being on this podcast, sharing some good information with the audience. And if you guys found really amazing value in this podcast, which I'm sure you did, make sure to comment down below what your favorite part was, and make sure to send this to at least one person that could really benefit from leveraging credit and just learning about credit. So thank you so much, Ed, again. Give him a follow, share this video, and comment down below. Take care. Bye.
Appreciate it.